for Kane's character to do. And 6 months from now, I don't see Kane being there as much as what he is now. In my opinion, he's just kind of there, serving as a general manager for Raw and SmackDown, and more so for the Friday Night SmackDown tapings that take place the day after Monday Night Raw. Really, that's the only reason he's there, because they don't have a general manager of Monday Night Raw. They don't have a general manager of Friday Night SmackDown like they had back in 2004, 2005. For the better part of the last 10 years, they've always had a general manager, no matter if it was Theodore Long, Vicky Guerrero, Brad Maddox, Mike Adamle. They've had so many people in the role of being a Raw and SmackDown general manager, and because they don't have general managers anymore to represent specific shows, Kane is kind of just there to fill the vacancy the general managers have left behind from years prior to now, and it's just really frustrating. And again, The Undertaker's not there all the time. There's a rumor The Undertaker is finished with WWE after being considered retired for many years, and they're trying to keep Kane there. So by keeping him out of the ring and only having him wrestle at special events now, kind of like how they went with The Undertaker in the last few years before the streak ended this year at WrestleMania, obviously that's just a reason to keep Kane there and obviously pick up where The Undertaker will leave off when his retirement becomes official, which we're probably not that far off from. So there are probably a lot of reasons why we're seeing Kane in the position that he's in now. Now, your choices are to be frustrated with the direction of Kane's character, or to support Kane in the position that he's in now in WWE. What side are you taking? I'm choosing the side of being frustrated, because there are so many Kane fans out there, as I just alluded to, that want to see Kane wrestling more than what he is and be dominant like he was back in 1998, 1999. I really wish we had the Kane from 1998 who was really dominant and a driving force behind the Attitude Era. The first feud that he had with The Undertaker really established Kane as a future legend in WWE, and undoubtedly, without arguments being raised, Kane is definitely a legend and considered as one of the all-time greatest, even though he hasn't won the WWE Championship a record number of times, or the world title a record number of times. He's been the champion, although he didn't get a meaningful reign as WWE Champion. He's considered as one of the greatest of all time, if not one of the top 5, definitely one of the top 10 characters in WWE that fans have loved and really respected over the years, especially the Brothers of Destruction. Everybody loved that team. So I can understand why wrestling fans would more so be frustrated and choose that direction with Kane's character, because you remember the better years of Kane's character. You forget about the Team Hell Knows and the Daniel Bryan feud that Kane had, and them being tag team champions. You forget about everything Kane did with someone like Tori, the original Tori character for the Attitude Era, in his feud with Sean Waltman. You forget all that stupid stuff that Kane did, and you look back at the dominant years of Kane's character. Glenn Jacobs has certainly contributed a lot even prior to playing the Kane character, hasn't he? The royal dentist of Jerry Lawler back in 94, 95, and how revolutionary he was and a driving force behind the Jerry Lawler character when Jerry Lawler was a great heel, one of the greatest heels of all time. In WWE, he was the fake Diesel before that. He had a couple of matches on WWE television to put over the fact that Kevin Nash and Scott Hall had left WWE prior for WCW prior to their entries into WWE to kind of mock the legacies of Kevin Nash and Scott Hall they had left behind. And now he's the Kane character, and he's been in so many different roles, various variations of the masked Kane character. He's gone from point A to point B very quickly, and there have been so many metamorphoses of his character. And along with that, Kane has put over a lot of great names in WWE. The bulk of the new talent initiative is who he's put over, and he's also put over talents like John Cena and Randy Orton in the earlier years of their career, and they're still putting them over to this day. In 2012, John Cena and Kane, one of the biggest feuds of that year, the ambulance match from 2012 is one I'll never forget, and the couple of matches that Randy Orton and Kane had, one at WrestleMania 28 in 2012, and the Extreme Rules match they had the following month at the pay-per-view that had more WrestleMania rematches than any Extreme Rules pay-per-view since 2010. So many great matches on that night, but the highlight of the night was actually the kickoff match between Kane and Randy Orton, which was the definition, in my opinion, of brutality and chaos, and it's a match that I would recommend you go back and watch on YouTube or the WWE Network or the app, because it's an amazing match that really puts into perspective how much Kane has gotten over young talents over the years, and really that's really the reason why he's still there and still wrestling on occasion. Now, this year at WrestleMania, when he was in a six-man tag team match teaming up with the New Age Outlaws, Great Legends Feel against The Shield It was kind of stupid. How long was that match? Maybe 5 minutes. Kane gets the triple power bomb and gets pinned by the Shield. I mean, there really was nothing done creatively with that feud. It was just for the purpose of giving WrestleMania an extra match and a tidbit of flavor, and nothing really was done with it. And I really wish there was something more done with that. And Kane still wrestles on and off again. He's had a few matches with Roman Reigns, who I'm putting over as a possible future WWE champion. We talked about him about 2 weeks ago here on this show and how he's a future champion, in my opinion, even though it doesn't seem to be going to happen anytime soon with Brock Lesnar as champion representing the Authority the way he is, along with Paul Heyman. Doesn't seem to be happening anytime soon, but Kane is still putting over people like Roman Reigns, and he's been doing it for the better part of the last 5 years. And that's where my frustration has kind of come from with what they're doing with Kane's character. He's benefited legends, he's benefited new talent, superstars, and he's having nothing done with his character. Wouldn't you expect Kane to be being rewarded for everything that he's done? If they can reward The Undertaker for over 20 plus years, 2 decades of dominance in WWE, by giving him this phenomenal send-off in this match with Brock Lesnar, who we probably haven't seen the last of in WWE, regardless of how you feel about the outcome of The Undertaker's match at WrestleMania 30, his latest performance at a WrestleMania, which was one of his best, a 5-star scale performance out of 5 stars any day, in my opinion. You can go up against any match for wrestling history. It was definitely one of the best, even though Brock Lesnar dominated a significant portion of the match. If they can reward The Undertaker for so many years of contributions, they can do the same thing with Kane's character. And I often wonder what Triple H and Stephanie are thinking creative-wise with WWE development. What are they thinking about Kane's character, and why are they treating Kane the way that they are? How long does Kane have to go before Kane snaps and goes coastal? I see that eventually happening with Kane's character, and I've said this more than enough on this radio show, because where Kane should be this late in his career, after portraying so many characters, from the fake Diesel to the Royal Dentist to the Kane character, which was the best character Glenn Jacobs ever portrayed in WWE, how long is it going to be before Kane has had enough and says, enough is enough and I'm done with WWE? I'm tired of Triple H and Stephanie's shit, and I don't want to be a part of WWE anymore, because that's really what it comes down to. What they're doing with Kane's character is complete bullshit. It is utter bullshit and utterly unbelievable how far Kane has come with this character in WWE, and now look where he is. He's not a champion. He's just putting over new talent, superstars, and to put them over, what you have to do to put them over is lose. You don't always win. A scattered time you may win, depending on what name you are in professional wrestling. If you're The Rock, you're going to win over John Cena. If you're Brock Lesnar, you're going to win all the time, depending on what your name is. But someone like Kane, in his category, always has to lose to the Roman Reigns and the Alberto Del Rios to get them over as some of the biggest names in WWE, because of the name Kane has established prior to them coming over from WWE development into WWE territory. It's really frustrating when you see that kind of thing happening, because you want to see Kane win. If you're a Kane fan more especially, and I'm speaking to the Kane fans out there on this radio show as an open forum, if you're a Kane fan, you want to see Kane win against the Del Rios. You want to see Kane win against the Wyatt families, but you're not seeing it. In 2013, again, he drops it to Bray Wyatt in the Inferno match, the first Inferno match since '06, a match that Kane could have perfectly won to build momentum off of, but he lost it. And I mean, there are so many examples over the past 5 to 6 years that Kane has dropped matches to new talent and superstars to get them over, which is why I think Kane has a reason to be frustrated with his character, and why wrestling fans should be letting their voices be heard about what's happening with Kane's character. I don't blame you, at the end of the day, after you've listened to this show, for going to WWE.com and writing them letters. I don't blame you for messaging them on Facebook or following them on Twitter with tweets and being very frustrated about this. I don't blame you if you're upset over what they're doing with Kane's character, because I myself am equally, if not even more, frustrated with what they're doing with Kane's character. It's kind of a part of a What the Fuck's Up series on this YouTube channel that I've been talking about a lot of superstars kind of in the same position, and there are a lot of superstars, not just Kane, but there are a lot of superstars that are in the same position that are having nothing done with their characters creatively, and there is so much potential that goes behind the characters that are having nothing done with their characters and personalities in WWE. Bray Wyatt looked to be one of the biggest superstars of the new talent that used to more recency, and nothing was done with his character after he lost to John Cena at WrestleMania. He had a few follow-up matches with John Cena, Extreme Rules matches. We had a Last Man Standing match at Payback, and nothing was done with his character. Where did he go from feuding with John Cena? Busted down to the mid-card feuding with Chris Jericho. Now, no disrespect to Chris Jericho, he's one of the greatest Intercontinental Champions of all time. But how does a guy go from being in everything from WrestleMania main events to steel cage matches to last man standing matches to being in the first match of pay-per-views with people like Chris Jericho, people that you would have expected to get over against someone like John Cena? And he did get over against John Cena in a steel cage match when John Cena first started showing signs of depression with his character in WWE, and nothing was done with his character in the way of a follow-up. He went from John Cena to Chris Jericho, and he'll go from Chris Jericho now to somebody else who will probably be unbeneficial to his character, falling into the same category that Kane is in right now. Now, yes, Kane is in a position of power in WWE, which a lot of wrestling fans wanted him to see eventually in his career. Throughout his career, Kane's been in a lot of positions of power, either with a position to make matches or as world champion, but he's always dropped the ball. And how much time do we have before we see Kane drop the ball, unfortunately, again? I don't think we have that much time, and we're going to be seeing that happen very soon, and probably sooner than what we want to see it happen with Kane's character. What are some of your favorite Kane moments over the years, by the way? You can leave those for us at the bottom of this YouTube video in the comments by tweeting them to us on Twitter at Jonathan Clarke 1 or by throwing them up on our Facebook page at HEW Entertainment, where we are broadcasting our show for you. And we are on Google Plus, by the way, with news, photos, videos, everything exclusively from our website's RSS news feed. You can throw up your favorite Kane moments on our Google Plus page at HEW Entertainment. And if you haven't downloaded our app, you can now from the App Store, Google Play, or the official website of the app. We've linked up to the official website of HEW Entertainment, and tell us what some of your favorite Kane moments have been throughout the years. My opinion of Kane's character is he's gone a long way from being dominant to someone who's just a lapdog and a bitch of the authority. If you were to look up the definition of bitch in WWE's dictionary, there would be a picture of Kane probably next to the definition, because really that's all Kane has been. And there have been so many superstars that fall into the category of being Triple H and Stephanie's bitches, like Randy Orton, a guy who was always given the championship but never has anything done with his character if he's not champion. He just puts over new talented superstars. The Wade Barretts and the Alberto Del Rios are prime examples of who Randy Orton has benefited over the last few years. Daniel Bryan is another example of how Kane has benefited so many superstars over the years and had nothing done with his character. Yes, I respect the idea of wrestlers wanting to slow down after 15, 20 years and wanting to move on with their lives, because it always happens. From the greatest of all time to the mid-card wrestlers, they